The year was 2147. The deep space ship Voyager 7 floated near a giant alien space station called Nethra Station. It was the first time humans had come this far into alien space. The crew was nervous but excited. They had come in peace, hoping to learn and build trust. Captain Luke Hale stood at the front of the meeting room. He was calm, with short brown hair and steady eyes. Beside him were Kate Morrow, who studied alien languages, Danny Rogers, the ship's engineer, and Carl West, who kept everyone safe. They all wore simple blue uniforms with the Earth symbol on the shoulder. The Kavani aliens entered slowly. They were tall, with smooth silver skin and long limbs. Their eyes glowed pale gray, and their voices sounded like soft hums. They moved with grace, as if they had no weight. Their leader, Vekral, stepped forward. He spoke through a translator. "We welcome you, humans. Your species is young. Your ships are weak, but you have reached us. That is interesting." Luke smiled. "Thank you. We come to learn, not to impress." The meeting began with simple talks: trade, science, culture. Then Kate spoke up. "In our history," she said, "we have many old stories, myths. Some people believed gods came from the sky, that they taught us how to farm, build cities, and speak. Others said these beings left after a great flood." Vekral tilted his head. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then a strange sound came from the Kavani, a mix of clicks and chimes. They were laughing. "You think we were your gods?" Vekral asked, still amused. "You believe sky beings gave you fire and language? These are fairy tales for children." Danny shrugged. "We don't all believe it, but it's strange. Your kind looks a lot like the beings in our old drawings." Vekral said coldly, "Coincidence. Your myths are noise. We are real. We are science. There is no magic in the stars." But one young Kavani behind him flinched when Kate said the word Eden. His fingers twitched. Kate saw it. She didn't say anything, but her mind raced. Later on the ship, Danny leaned over a screen. "Did you see that?" he asked Kate. "When we mentioned Eden, one of them reacted." "I saw it. Maybe our myths aren't just stories." Luke walked in, arms crossed. "They laughed at us, but fear hides behind laughter. Maybe they are afraid of something we don't know." Out in the dark, the stars watched. And somewhere, deep in space, old secrets waited to be found. After the meeting, the crew of Voyager 7 returned to their ship. They were quiet. The Kavani had been polite, but cold. Their laughter still echoed in the humans' minds. Back on board, Danny went straight to the data core. He could not stop thinking about the myths, the old stories, and that strange reaction when Kate said Eden. He pulled up ancient human records, texts from Sumer, Egypt, and the Hebrew scrolls. Then he matched them with the star maps the Kavani had shared. "Look at this," he called to Kate and Luke, who had just entered the room. On the screen was a star system marked in red. "This is Zal-Ith," he said. "The Kavani labeled it forbidden, no ships allowed. Now check this." He brought up an old Sumerian tablet. "This talks about a place called Dilmun, a paradise where gods healed the sick and lived in peace. Guess where Dilmun was said to be?" He pointed at the same spot on the star map. Same location. Kate leaned closer. "That can't be a mistake." "And there's more," Sani said. "In the Book of Enoch, humans wrote about the Watchers, beings from the sky who taught them science, medicine, even war. The Kvanni have a story about the first instructors. They say these beings left to help young species, but were later punished and taken back. Carl, watching from the side, noticed. So did Kate. Later that night, as the crew reviewed the day's logs, a small alert flashed. Someone had sent a data burst from Nethra Station. It was hidden inside a routine weather report. Danny opened it. Inside was a single line. Look deeper. The truth is buried under ice. And below it, a set of coordinates. Somewhere in Antarctica. The crew looked at each other. Their hearts beat faster. This was no joke. Someone on the station was trying to tell them something. They're hiding something, Luke said. And someone, Kate whispered, wants us to find it.
The beacon under the ice pulsed with a soft blue light. Each pulse sent a wave of energy into the sky, rising through the thin air of Varellis. Far above, old defense sats, long dead, flickered to life. Their sensors turned toward the stars, scanning the dark. In the capital, alarms rang in the high tower. Cora Venn stood at the window, her hands pressed against the glass. "It cannot be," she whispered. But the data was clear. Something was coming. 3 large shapes had appeared at the edge of the system. They moved slow but steady, cutting through space like ships made of shadow and steel. Their size was unlike anything the Virillians had ever built. Each one carried sharp edges, glowing engines, and strange markings on the hull. The lead ship bore the name Odyssey 1 and a flag with blue and green swirls. On the planet, fear spread fast. People crowded in the streets, some praying, others shouting. The old stories were real. The Terrans had returned. Lyle and Nina watched from a hidden room in the archive basement. They had the last copy of the data chip. On the screen, they saw the ship's design. "That's human tech," Nina said. "Late 22nd century, maybe newer." "They don't know about us," Lyle said. "They're following the signal." Above, Captain Dean Foster stood on the bridge of the Odyssey 1. The planet below was pale blue and white with thin clouds. Sensors showed cities, roads, and energy sources. Life. "Open a channel," Dean said. "Let's talk." A message was sent in basic galactic code, then repeated in every known frequency. "This is Captain Dean Foster of Earth. We come in peace. We heard your call." The words flew down to Varellis. Within minutes, they were picked up by every network. Scholars read them, leaders feared them, children repeated them. Cora Venn ordered silence. She told her guards, "Erase the broadcast, shut down all links, no one speaks to them." But it was too late. The truth was in the air. In a quiet lab, Lyle turned to Nina. "They came because of us, because of the plate, because of the beacon. And we woke it," she said. High above, the 3 ships moved into orbit. Shuttles prepared to land. Rachel Turner sat in the pilot's seat, heart beating fast. Paul checked the language files. Dean put on his uniform. Down below, the first real humans in thousands of years were about to step onto alien soil. And for the first time, myth would look myth in the eye and say, "I am real." The next morning, Veckrel arrived at Voyager 7 with 4 armed Kvanni guards. His face was hard, his voice sharp. "Nullis has broken the law," he said. "He will return to Nethra Station for judgment." Luke stepped forward. "He came to us with truth. Why is truth a crime?" "Truth?" Veckrel spat. "He spoke of forbidden history. Lies from a mad mind. The caretakers are myth, just like your old stories." But his eyes flickered toward Nullis, and for a second, fear showed. Nahus did not fight as the guards took him. He only looked at Kate and said, "The ice remembers." Then he was gone. Back inside the ship, the crew sat in silence. Danny broke it. "He gave us the coordinates. We have to go." Luke nodded. "We're going to Antarctica." The trip took 2 days. Voyager 7 landed near the South Pole. Using drones with heat sensors and ground-penetrating radar, they scanned the ice. Deep below, over 2 miles down, they found something. Not rock, not ice, metal. "It's a structure," Danny said, eyes wide. "Smooth, curved walls. Looks like a dome." They drilled down slowly. When the last layer of ice cracked open, a soft blue light rose from below. The air was warm, no wind, no sound. The team stepped onto a metal ramp that led underground. The walls were covered in symbols. Some looked like Kvani writing, others like ancient earth scripts, Sumerian, Egyptian, even Old Hebrew. At the center of the chamber stood a tall pillar. Around it were crystal pods, 6 of them. 5 were empty. 1 was cracked open. The last one still held a body inside. It was Kvani. But not like Veckrel. This one wore a simple robe. Its hands were crossed over its chest. Its face was calm. On the wall behind it, carved in every known human language, were words. "We were your teachers. We are sorry we left." Kate touched the wall. "They didn't just visit us, they stayed. They cared." Then the pillar lit up. A hologram formed, a Kvani in soft light, speaking in a voice that the translator slowly understood. "To those who find this, we are the last of the caretakers. We came in peace. We taught what we could. When the council came to destroy us, we hid this place, not for glory, but for hope." The image paused. "If you are human, know this. You were never alone, and you were never weak. You learned, you grew, you survived." The image faded. In its place, a star map appeared. One system glowed red. "This is Zalk-Ilith," Danny whispered. "The forbidden world." Luke looked at the frozen teacher in the pod, and he said, "They weren't gods, but they were good." And in that moment, under the ice, the past became real, and the future began to change. News of the discovery spread fast. Videos of the chamber, the body, the words on the wall, everything was sent back to Earth. People watched in silence. Some cried, some fell to their knees, others stood in shock. For centuries, humans had argued about gods, myths, and creation. Now they had proof. The gods were not gods. They were real beings. They had come, they had taught, and they had been taken away. Luke and his crew were called heroes, but they didn't feel like heroes. They felt like students who had finally found the first page of a lost book. Back on Nethra Station, Veckrel sat alone in the dark. He watched the human broadcast. He saw the chamber, the words, the hologram. His hands shook. He played a hidden file from long ago. His own father's voice. "We were wrong." The voice said, "The caretakers were not criminals. They were brave. We silenced them to hide our shame." Veckrel closed his eyes. For the first time, he felt shame too. On Earth, leaders met. They did not build weapons. They did not plan war. Instead, they built a new ship. Not for war, not for power, for memory. They named it the Caretaker. It carried human knowledge, music, books, science, art. It also carried a message.
We remember the teachers. Now we wish to teach too. Luke stood at the launch site. Kate, Danny, and Carl were beside him. This isn't just about the past. It's about what we become. The ship rose into the sky, then jumped into space. Its first target, Zal-Ith, the Forbidden World. Months later, a signal came from Nethra Station. Vekral sent it. No guards, no lies, just his voice. We have opened our records. We are telling our people the truth. It is time to stop hiding. He paused and, "We would like to speak with you, not as rulers, not as gods, as equals." On Earth, people smiled. Children looked at the sky with new hope. The myths were real, but they were not magic. They were history. And now humanity had a choice, not to worship the past, but to honor it. They had been taught long ago. Now it was their turn to reach out, not as gods, not as masters, but as caretakers.